So we looked at about 6 apartments before landing on this one. Hey gorgeous, welcome back to another lovely video. My name is Kat. If you're new to my channel, welcome, or welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. I hope you're doing great, and if you're not, I hope that this video lifts your spirit. I am doing a very chatty video today. I feel like talking. I would like for you to comment down below and let me know how your December is going. How are you? How's your family? Have you started reflecting on the year? Do you have any fun plans for 2024? All the fun stuff. Just comment down below and let me know how you're doing. I feel like I haven't been very engaged with you, and I want to change that. In this video, I want to just talk about my apartment hunting experience. I want to share with you how I've been since I've been on leave, and other things that will just pop up. So it's just basically a very long chatty video, and I hope you like, comment and subscribe. That's pretty much it. I will start off with saying that according to my previous vlog, I said that the video I'd post next is an apartment hunting video, because I did announce that we moved, and traditionally the sequence of a moving series, you would post an apartment hunting video, packing, empty apartment tour, and then moving day and settling in. And how I felt about the video that I made about the apartment hunting, because I did make one, I shot one, I edited. All I had to do was export and then upload and then publish. I just felt like watching back the footage, it was very premeditated, because I really thought a lot about the concept of the video, and it just didn't feel authentic to the experience of finding an apartment. It felt more like I was trying to sell you on the different kinds of apartments, and I just didn't want that to be the feeling of the video, because I'm also not trying to sell you on moving to Joburg. That's the thing. And then I thought about the empty apartment tour, and I just felt like, as much as I want to share, as much as I would like for my own personal sake, because this is my diary, I don't want to like share the empty apartment tour. Not because I don't want to share it, but because I feel like it doesn't mean anything. I would rather share the space with you throughout the year, where I'm living in it and you see how I'm engaging with the space. And then I'm definitely going to make the moving video. Probably that's going to be the next video, but it's going to be more meaningful. So I just decided to scrap that idea and just come up with something more authentic and real. So that's that. I'm going to start off with sharing with you on a high level how I feel my leave days have been. The past 7 days, it's been honestly very relaxing. Being in this new space has made me feel like I'm on holiday, which is always a good feeling to have when you're at home. It's so peaceful. I have just been learning, I guess, the place, and I was kind of stuck with my old reflexes from the old home, thinking certain things in the kitchen are there where they used to be before. It's like a weird reflex thing that you have after you move to a new place. So that has been fun. We did go back to my in-laws some time back for an umsebenzi, which is always nice, seeing family, seeing the kids, eating traditional food, and just talking and getting to know my in-laws. It's always so nice. Sometimes I do feel a bit intimidated by some of my in-laws, but I guess it's part of establishing and building relationships. And then we had the work end year function, which I've already shared on my previous video. And then day one of my leave, I went antique shopping, which was basically the day that I shot my previous video. I went antique shopping for photo frames. I want to build a really beautiful gallery wall. It's something that I've always been into, but I don't think I fully immersed in it. So this time around, like, I'm doing it. Every time I go out, I always keep an eye out for really good looking aged photo frames. I want ones of different sizes. I bought a few. I'll just show you. I wanted square ones, triangle ones, circle ones. I want different kinds, and I think it's pretty fun. It's like my new little hobby, but I also don't want it to be super expensive. And then on day 2, I took Ollie to the dog park, which was a really nice long walk. And then on the 3rd day, my husband and I drove to Pretoria for my trip, because you guys know that I've been looking for an 18 to 55mm second-hand lens since I accidentally dropped mine and it's broken. So I found one guy on Facebook Market. He was selling a lens. I sent him a WhatsApp, texted, agreed on a time and date. We met up in Pretoria Semi-Marks. Cool guy. He just came with the wrong lens. What he advertised and what he was selling was two completely different things. An 18 to 55, but it wasn't an STM lens, and I wanted an STM lens because the difference between the one he brought was just that one was very basic, and the one I wanted is kind of a silent one. So kind of felt a bit bitter about it, because I should have just asked him to send a picture before driving like 60 kilometers for what turned out to be absolutely nothing. So we decided to make lemonade of the situation and went to Brooklyn Mall for a lunch date, and then we went to Exclusive Books just to look around, and we actually ended up buying 2 books. They weren't meant to be coffee table books, but they just actually ended up on the coffee table. This book is really nice to introduce one to concepts of color and help you to decide and learn about which colors work well and which ones don't. I will probably do a whole conversation about this book later on. And then he also got this Basquiat book. Basquiat is a famous artist. I haven't really paged through this book all that much, but these are our coffee table books. It was not intentional, but they really look really nice. And then on day 4, we went to my brother's place for a braai in Centurion. I got to spend time with his lovely wife, the kids, extended families, and my uncles were there. It was very refreshing being with my family. It's always just nice seeing and meeting new people. I met my sister-in-law's friend, such a lovely girl. I just love being around people, just great vibes. And on day 5, I honestly slept in on this day. I just felt like I was having one of those days where I don't want to do anything, which is also super relaxing on its own. And then when I did wake up, I decided to try my hand at baking malva pudding, which is a South African dessert. It's very easy, quite decadent if you ask me. And how it came about me baking this malva pudding is because when we were at Exclusive Books, I saw a recipe book that I actually liked, and then when I was just going through the desserts, I just thought, you know what, I'm always having custard and jelly. I'm just that person, so let me just try and bake something different, because I do also love baking. It was actually quite easy. It was easy. It's just that malva pudding on its own, it's just too decadent. And then after baking that, I took Ollie out on the same dog park, and I discovered like a beautiful section of that dog park that I didn't know was there before. And then I also bumped into my friend Lumka. She was actually there for a photo shoot, so we had like a minute chat, not even, but it was really nice to see her. And then today I went out quickly just to buy bread that I had for breakfast. I bought some sourdough bread. I had toast. I toasted it using our skillet because we don't have a toaster. And when I was out, I bumped into a friend, an old schoolmate, Cynthia, It was so lovely seeing her. She actually saw me, and as I was walking out of the shop, like she greeted me. It was very refreshing to have seen someone that I know from back home, someone that I know from school, someone I know from my past. It was so lovely seeing her, exchange numbers. Hopefully I'll just set up a date with like both Lumka and Cynthia separately for like conversations and chats and all the things. That's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait to do that. So that's just been a highlight of like what I've been up to. Next up, I want to talk about my apartment hunting experience. So we looked at about 6 apartments before landing on this one. About 2 weeks to find this place. We weren't in a rush. It just happened that we found this place sooner than we expected, and then we searched on Property 24, which is easy to use. I like the WhatsApp feature where you can contact an agent on WhatsApp and call them if they're keen. I feel like if you can call someone and schedule an appointment as soon as you find an apartment that you like, it's always a win. The paperwork that they usually want is like a 3-month bank statement, 3 months pay slip. Some also want proof of where you work and also proof of verification in an ID or passport form, and the documents above will want 6 months pay slip or bank statement if you are self-employed. So that's just the admin out of the way. I was looking for a few things at our next place, so I spoke with my husband and we agreed on our ideal place and what it would look like. So here's a checklist of what we wanted. I have my notes out. So the budget is quite trivial, I'm not going to mention it. We were looking for a cottage specifically. We honestly wanted something with a bit more character, something more detailed, something that will feel like home, something lived in. We did not want the typical white ballroom property that's just bland and boring that we see all the time here on YouTube. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If we stay at a place like that, it wasn't our cup of tea. We wanted a 2-bedroom. Hubs works from home full-time since the pandemic, so we wanted a place for him to work full-time. We didn't really prioritize having a guest bedroom. We wanted a place for him to work, and then we wanted a bathtub in the bathroom, and obviously the location is Johannesburg, so we were quite open-minded about trying new places. We looked at Midrand, I've stayed there before. We looked at Four Ways, Lone Hill, Sunny Hill, Bryanston, Morningside, all those places, and Centurion as well. We were also considering how reasonable it would be for me to travel to work, considering the old place we used to stay at was quite the distance to my workplace, so that was something very important to keep in mind. We wanted a kitchen and a bathroom that was in good condition with lots of natural light for filming purposes, because the last place we were at, I honestly really struggled filming because the kitchen was mostly very dark, and things that were important, but things that were nice to have but not that important was the place needed to be pet friendly, because we have Ollie. We really wanted to take him with us. We wanted a garden because we like the break between being in the house and also being outside. We also wanted a shower and obviously close to convenience like the garage, the N1 off ramps, and shops as well, and also close to gym, which we actually ended up cancelling. My phone died. I have more notes over here. So we looked at a total of 6 apartments, like I said. The first one was in Bryanston. I remember seeing this one and just felt very excited about going to view it, even though I knew that it was a studio apartment. I just wanted to get the ball rolling. This one was 7,000 rand. We met the owner. He was quite friendly, and then you'd buy 900 rand of electricity. That's if you switch off the geyser. This place did not have load shedding because it was opposite of school, and we had an endless supply of electricity because it was a private school where I'm assuming the politicians and ministers would take their kids. In retrospect, this place was honestly very small for us because it was actually 42 square meters, and how we're living now, I think this place is just big enough for us. That one would have been very small. It had a kitchenette with lots of natural light. There was just enough cupboard space just to get by. It was a 2-plate stove, which is not good because I like cooking, and there was no oven, so that means one would have to buy an air fryer just to bake and all of those things. It came with a fridge, which would have been a good head start because we didn't have a fridge. But that fridge, like, you can smell that it had just been sitting there for a long time. It had that moldy fridge smell. You know what smell I'm talking about. And the shower did not have a door. There was no bathtub, and I think ultimately it was just not a good place for us, even though it was dog friendly, and there was about 4,000 square meters of indigenous garden. That one was really nice. It had a pool, but the pool didn't look like it was well maintained, and there was no washing machine. There was no space for a washing machine in the kitchen, so you'd have to use the communal washing machine, which would belong to the landlord, and his helper would schedule with us when we want to do our laundry, which is a very weird configuration. And I honestly love doing my own laundry. I felt like I'd be very revoked of that privilege, and the idea of someone doing your laundry is just very weird. So that one was a no. And then the next one that we went to view was in Four Ways, next to Monte Casino to be specific. We met up with the agent. She was very sweet. Even though her demeanor really did come across that she's just trying to make a sale, she was sweet. This was 8,500 rand. It was in a lifestyle estate where there is a clubhouse, amenities, all the fun stuff, and electricity would also be 900 rand if you remember to switch off the geyser. And it was a nice modern kitchen with nice fixtures, even though it was a very small living area because it was an open plan kitchen, living room, and then you go out into the private garden. The downside about this place was that they did not allow large breed dogs, and also the unit was next to the gate, and I just honestly don't think it was something that we wanted, even though it just felt good being there. And another big con was that there was no space for my husband's work table because this was a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. I don't know if I mentioned that. So there was no strong selling points with this one. And then the third one that I went to view on my own was in Midrand. This is typically what I would go for. I met up with the agent. She was sweet, but I just wasn't sure if this place was what we really wanted, even though it was like typically what I would go for. It was 8,500 rand. I didn't ask about the water and electricity. I just didn't think I was super invested with asking. And it had fiber infrastructure. This was like an old layout, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. I liked the layout, but the kitchen did not look like it was in good condition. The stove was very dirty, the cupboards were very dirty. I'd really struggle with filming content there. I had a private garden. I wasn't sure if they would allow Oli, though we had to confirm that, but I just felt like I was not fully invested with finding out like all the small nitty-gritty details, because the place just looked like it was not well maintained and it wouldn't be good value for money, and I was just not hyped about it, so I just let that one go. then still in Midrand, I went to Blue Hills. I met up with the owners. They were a husband and wife, very friendly people, asking a lot of questions, want to know more about me and my husband. This one was such a steal. It was 6,500 rand, and the downside of it was that they had no fiber infrastructure, so you couldn't even bring in your own internet. Wow. You couldn't even bring in your own internet even if you wanted to. This was a very beautiful cottage. I absolutely love it. There was a big backyard space. They allowed all you to come. This was like a mini community cottage place. So it's in Midrand, but in the whole estate there's about 4 cottages and a house, and then each person has their own individual like yard, and then you can have your dog in your yard, and then you can also have the dog outside where it can like interact with other dogs in the estate yard. It was such a cute little place. I really loved it. The only downside was the fact that there was no fiber. The place was reasonable. There was a kitchenette, it was spacious enough, and yeah. So I ended up telling my friend about this place because she was also looking for a place in Midrand, and she went to view it and she absolutely loved it. She also has 2 dogs, so she ended up taking the place, which I felt that my work was not in vain because I was technically looking for the place. I found it and I recommended it to her, and she absolutely loves it. So that's the silver lining in the story. And then the 5th and the 6th apartment, I'll just put them all in one because it's very similar. These are the boring white Bowen property that I was telling you about, but these apartments were by Apartment House. These are the high-end hostels for working class people. That's what they call them out here in the streets. The prices here was between 8 to 17,000 rand ish, and this one had a lot of hidden costs in terms of water and electricity. They have a whole system that they understand that I couldn't understand, and for me that was just really a big red flag. And they had a clubhouse because this lifestyle estates usually come with a lot of amenities and a lot of things that you end up paying for, but they don't tell you that you're paying for it. You just pay an exorbitant amount of a rental price. So yeah, I just felt like these ones were quite basic. Honestly, we've seen them so much here on YouTube. I don't even think I need to go through all the specs. So I had seen so many of these apartments that I was so tired. Of apartments by this time. So when my husband proposed to me that he sold this place on Property 24 because he was also doing his own research and searching, he showed me this property and another property which I ended up loving, and we all know that all the lovely apartments, they get snatched so quick, so we just had to schedule to come and see this place, which honestly I didn't feel really excited about it because the pictures were very underwhelming. So I was very underwhelmed by the pictures, but we decided to schedule with the owners, and as we're coming into the property, it looked nice on the outside. and then when we now came into our cottage side, it just looked very underwhelming. But then the moment I walked in, I just knew that this one was the one. I just told my husband at that moment that this is the one. Like, we are done searching because it was so gorgeous. We came around 5:30 where the sun was setting, and the way the lighting was hitting the place was gorgeous. It was stunning. I didn't even need to look so closely at the kitchen and the bathroom and all those things. I just felt like this was good value for money. Let's go. So when we got home, okay, before that we spoke with the owners. I got to have a feel of what kind of people they were. Very friendly. They had 4 Labradors, so I used that as a conversation starter to tell them about Ollie. And they allowed us to bring him as long as we take him out to dog walks, because Labradors are very like busy dogs. So we got home. Even before we got home, I was just telling him in the car that this is the one. When you get home, please send me your bank statements and all those things. Like, send me the paperwork. I'll take care of the admin, please. So he did all that. We paid the deposit, and then now we're here. So this place was honestly very underwhelming for us, but it was definitely something that we were looking for. I'm not gonna mention the price, obviously, like I said, in the area, because we stay here, and I know some of you guys can get very weird here on the internet. So I will share some of the nice things that it does come with. It includes water, electricity, fiber, infrastructure. We get like about Netflix, the Wi-Fi, all those things, a gas stove, which is amazing with all these crazy load shedding, and also a gas shower, which is a new concept for me. And yeah, private garden, lots of light. It was charming. They allowed the dogs, reasonable distance to work. So that's pretty much it about my apartment hunting, life updates, chats, and all the things. I think the next video that I'm going to make will be a moving vlog, and I really owe you guys like a Q&A, all that. I have some questions that have been just piling up, so I need to make that video soon, hopefully tomorrow. Yeah, thank you so much for watching till this far. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a massive big thumbs up, guys. I'm sitting out here and the mosquitoes are eating me. Yo, they're eating me. Like, one thing about this place, there are a lot of mosquitoes, and I can see the mosquito right now just flying. I need to go close our bedroom windows and doors. Yeah.